Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and we're doing a quick roundup for April the 22nd of 2022 on the vaccine and mask mandate issues in the workplace, because we are still getting a really, really high volume of calls on this topic. And to be honest, we're getting too many calls. I can't respond to them all. So sometimes when people call, I'm going to send them this video along with our whole playlist of vaccine mandate and mask mandate videos so they can get the full history of how the law has developed in this field since this wild world of the pandemic began. Now, let's really quick deal with the medical exemptions. If your doctor, keyword, your doctor, not you. No one cares what you think in the medical world. You're not, unless you're a medical doctor, in which case you should not be treating yourself, but at least your opinion would have some merit. If your treating physician says, will put in a letter that you cannot take the vaccine, or that the vaccine will not work for you, then you may have a valid medical exemption for the vaccine mandates. There is a variety of medical exemptions for the mask mandates that are completely meritorious, completely legitimate in every single way. Still need a letter from your doctor saying why you cannot wear a mask. Just that simple. If you can't find a doctor to write it in a letter for you, we can't help you. You can get mad about that. Mad at your doctor. We can't help you if your doctor won't write it down. We're not going to take that case. For the religious exemptions, I am aware of four faiths prominent in the United States which advise their members that they cannot, keyword cannot, take the vaccine. Some of those faiths do not allow their members to take any vaccines. Some of those faiths specifically took a stance on the mRNA vaccine. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to enforce people's rights. If you are a member of one of those faiths, and you know that the leaders of your faith, the women and men who guide your faith and craft your belief system, have issued that edict that you cannot, keyword cannot, not should not. If they say, hey, we don't think you should, can't help you, because it's not a direct order from your faith, right? But if they say you cannot take the vaccine, that is then potentially going to be a viable religious accommodation ground. Now, you kind of noticed I said prominent faiths. Okay, now I understand there are many, many small faiths and faiths of one. There are many individuals have a personal relationship with God. They have their own tenets and principles and religious beliefs. That gets dicey. Now, if you're in a small church or a small congregation and you have a letter from your pastor saying that you cannot, again, cannot, not good enough to say should not, got to be cannot. If that letter from your pastor, your guru, your religious leader, the leader of your coven, whatever, and I'm not making fun of any of these faiths. Like, legitimately, I'm just trying to think. Your rabbi, right? All your priest, all the particular, your imam, if you have a leader of a group of your faith, and that leader says you cannot receive this vaccine, that is a legitimate grounds for religious accommodation. It has, in my experience, been treated slightly weaker than the tenets of a large faith. That is a mistake made by individual judges, and I think it is incorrect under the law. But that is something we're facing, and certainly something we have to overcome. So be aware of that. And now, listen, I think some of you are going to write in like, oh, blah, 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 there's only one of such and such faith, and no splinter groups can say this or that. There's not one of any faith that I'm aware of. Every faith has splinter groups. I mean, it just, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe your faith is different. But if there's a group and they identify as a member of your faith, but they say they have different rules, guess what? They're a splinter group. You can say they're not, but they are. And I don't care that they believe different things than you. I only care that they believe the things they believe, and they should have rights based on that. But back, so that's a small congregation, the small group faiths. For the individual relationship with God, which is very similar and is being treated very similar to personal belief exemptions. I just want to be upfront with you. These are basically just coming down to the judge assigned to your case, right? If you do everything right, if the case is handled perfectly, everything's on the up and up, you can show a long-standing belief in all these things. It just comes down to the politics of the judge assigned to your case. And I'm not saying judges are political, because I don't think I'm allowed to. But, yeah. And listen, I get it. That's frustrating. I know people are going to comment in this video and be like, the numbers, the data, the mask mandates don't work. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a pretty compelling argument at this point. And then somebody's going to comment under that, the vaccines are not keeping people from getting the disease or transmitting it. Yeah, I think pretty much everybody knows that and agrees on that. I don't think that's actually in contention at this point. Listen, it might slow it down a little bit, and I think it does lower the death toll, but yeah, I don't think there's anyone, at least not that I'm aware of, arguing that the vaccine was like going to get rid of COVID. It's not. I mean, breakthrough cases are incredibly common, right? So yeah, that's all true. It's all true. Or let's just assume it is true for the sake of this argument. It doesn't change anything I just said. That's just the truth of it. Like, employers can do the things they want to do. Oh, and I should note, all this is for private employer mandates. The Biden mandate was, of course, illegal. Some of the CDC masking mandates were, of course, illegal, as found by federal judges. The CDC did not have those powers that they exercised and mysteriously were able to exercise for 2 years. And Biden really didn't have those powers that he exercised, and that's why he got so rapidly slapped down. But doesn't change what private employers can do. I know that's frustrating. I know that you're going to shoot me as the messenger. You're going to leave nasty comments. It's okay. I mean, listen, that's what I'm here for. You take your rage out. Get it out. You'll feel better. Okay? Anyways, I'm going to add this to our vaccine playlist, and sometimes when people call me, they're just going to get this video as the last video in the playlist and probably the first one they see. And that's just because, listen, I'm sorry. I'm getting like 50, 60, 100 calls on this topic a day, and everybody wants to talk about it for half an hour and wants to like go through all the mental permutations of like, what if I say this? And it's like, no, it's not about we're not here to help you make up claims. We're here if you have a claim to protect your rights. So some of you are going to get this video. I hope it helps. If it does help, like and subscribe. It does help me to help more people just like you. Take care.